For my final presentation, I chose to talk about the Yonaguni Monument, which is also known as Japan's Lost Atlantis. Is it natural? Is it man-made? Well, let's find out. First, we're going to talk about where is Younaguni located. Younaguni is located in Japan and is a part of the Ryukyu arc of islands. Younaguni actually has always been a popular diving spot, especially during the winter months, because it has a high population of hammerhead sharks. In this picture, you can see there's an X to where the underwater ruins were found. So, how was it discovered? In 1986, while observing sharks, Kihachiro Aratake, the director of the Younaguni Chao Tourism Association, noticed a seabed formation resembling an architectural structure. Seeing this as a new opportunity for a new tourist location, he gathered a group of scientists to visit the formation. The site began to get relatively popular, and in 1997, a Japanese industrialist, Yasu Watanabe, sponsored an informal expedition including pseudo-archaeology writers. He also invited a film crew for Channel 4 and Discovery Channel. His goal was to spread the word and gain attraction for the monument. To get a better look of the discovery, here's a video of scuba divers visiting the site. And as you're watching this, I want you to think of the possible reasons that this monument could have been made. So what did people think? So there's two main options. Is it a man-made pyramid, or is it a natural formation sculpted by the sea? First, let's talk about why people think it's man-made. The idea of a city being lost underwater is very common for a lot of ancient cultures. They are all folklore and stories, but could it be proven to be true? One of the scientists invited to see the site was Masaki Kimura. He is a professor at Ryukyu University, and he strongly believes that the discovery is an underwater ruin from an ancient civilization. He has spent years mapping to what he believes is the Younaguni Monument. Here is the map that he created. Professor Kimura believed that the monument began with an arch gateway, then going into a twin monolith, then to a main terrace, an upper terrace, and then to a turtle. This then leads to the question, how did it get flooded? 20,000 years ago was the peak of the Ice Age, and as the ice began to melt, the sea levels began to rise. Professor Kimura first estimated the ruins to be around 10,000 years old, but he later revised his answer. He revised the estimate to be around 2,000 and 3,000 years ago, because the sea level then was close to current levels. He suggests that after construction, tectonic activity caused it to be submerged below sea level. But what civilization could have built it? Professor Kimura believes that the structure are remnants of the Yatamati culture. Yamatai is an ancient country in Japan during the late Yayoi period, which is dated to be around 1000 BCE to 300 CE. During the discovery of the site, there has been speculations that a stone tablet has been found, and speculation that a colossal head was built. The stone tablet found is a rock with an X engraved into it. The colossal head is a rock with a face engraved into it, and Kimura believes that it's actually the Sphinx of that civilization and is known as protection. These two artifacts make people believe that an ancient civilization could have actually built the site. Although there's a lot of evidence to support the claim that this monument was built from an ancient civilization, there's a lot to also prove that it was formed naturally. First, let's discuss what kind of rock is used at the site. Geologist Robert Skosh observed that the Younaguni Formation was made up of sandstones. This rock group is known to have parallel bedding planes and layers that easily separate. At first glance, the angles at the site look perpendicular, but it's actually rhombohedral. This is actually a characteristic of a kind of fracturing in geology, known as jointing. But how did the rock separate like this? Younaguni actually lies in an earthquake-prone region. Such earthquakes tend to fracture the rocks in a regular manner. There are also a lot of similar formations on the northeast coast of Younaguni. Well, how about that whole map that Kimura made? He seemed pretty confident about that. Let's visually look at the map. First is the entrance, as we can see here. Then as you get through the entrance, you see the twin monoliths. Kimura believes that the twin monoliths were put there purposefully, but there is no significant reason to why they would have done that, and plus they weigh over 100 tons. A simple explanation for why they look like that is that they fell into a vertical position when the rock below them eroded. Here are the steps and terraces, and you can observe that the features look pretty architectural. But you can also observe that the angles aren't completely perpendicular and shows proof of jointing. And here is the end of the monument, the turtle. Here are other sites in Younaguni that look very similar to the monument found underwater. They are also made up of sedimentary rocks, and they have very similar fractures that look like the Younaguni Monument. Okay, so what about the stone tablet? In this video, you see Professor Kimura going over the features of the stone tablet. As you can see, the X is engraved into the stone. But is it from an ancient civilization? That stone tablet looks a lot like an anchor, and it's not surprising if they had a lot of those stones in that region due to their fishing economy. What about the colossal head? With the correct lighting and angle, this rock does look like a face, but at many other angles, it does not. Also, due to the high currents in Younaguni, a colossal head would be destroyed if it was underwater for that long. So what's the answer? Is it man-made? Is it natural? It's natural. Although there's more evidence to support the claim that it's naturally made, I kind of wish that it was man-made because that would just be really cool. Throughout this course, we've talked about the city Atlantis, and we all know that it's not actually a real place. But it would be really interesting if an archaeological site was proven true for an underwater city. A lot of people want to believe the fact that an underwater city could be true, so they begin to develop claims that it exists. So why is this pseudo-archaeology? When the site was first discovered, it was seen as an economic benefit rather than an actual archaeology benefit. Younaguni is not really a tourist location, so they saw this as an economic proposition for their island. Want to be used, so inviting Channel 4 News and Discovery Channel was purely off wrong intentions. He clearly didn't really know much about the monument and didn't really care if it was true. Now, on the other hand, Professor Kimura truly does believe that the Younaguni Monument was man-made from an ancient civilization. Although it isn't true, he will still do as much research as he can to try to prove that it was man-made. A lot of scientists wanted to be the first ones to publish about this site to gain popularity. Discovering Japan's lost Atlantis will put your name on the map, and that's what every scientist wanted, no matter if it was true or not. Overall, man-made or not, the site is truly beautiful. Honestly, at first, I thought it could have been man-made because it looks so phenomenal, but it's crazy that naturally something like that could be created. Well, that's all I got, but thank you for watching my video.